they're not a team that has like massive power. So when you saw Junior Caminero hit a home run in game one of this series, it was high exit velo, a low launch angle, and that's sort of how you have to cut through the wind at Steinbrenner when it's being funky.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. On today's program, it is just me and Mr. Closky, the man, the myth, the legend, Evan Closky from Channel 10 WTSP. On the program, we have a bunch of mailbag questions from the listeners to get to. We'll try to get to them all. There's questions on Taylor Walls, on Ben Rortvedt, on the pitching staff, and more. But before we get to that, we have to remind you that, did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console is required. Head over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription is required, as well as a compatible controller. All right, Evan. First things first. We were high on the Rays after their 5-game winning streak, and then they laid a dud against the Royals, getting swept.
Last time I came on, I said a bunch of things, and then they went on a heater. So let's hope that happens again.
Let's hope that happens again. But what was your TLDR version of how the Rays performed or didn't perform against Kansas City at their quote-unquote home ballpark of Steinbrenner Field?
Man, just the bat's not there. I thought game one was a little bit unlucky, just sort of the things that we've seen when it goes wrong. Good game, just couldn't get that hit in the right spot. And then, game two, go out to an early deficit. Taj, Drew, these first inning deficits. And, look, you scored 3 runs in 3 games. That's the story.
Hard to win.
Three runs in 3 games. I am a little bit concerned about how their team is not built for Steinbrenner. It's built for Tropicana Field. So
right.
I don't know how this is throwing everything off, but they're not a team that has like massive power. So when you saw Junior Caminero hit a home run in game one of this series, it was high exit velo, a low launch angle, and that's sort of how you have to cut through the wind at Steinbrenner when it's being funky. And, we talked to Drew Rasmussen on Tuesday, and he said it's not Wrigley, but it's Wrigley-esque in the sense that you can look at the flag and you can figure out, is this going to be a day where it's, first to 10 wins, or is it going to be a day where you just need to scratch across 2? And the Rays are not built with like big hulky power. Like Yandy, Brandon, and Junior are pretty much it. Then you have guys like Danny Jansen, some other guys who are supposed to trickle in a little bit here and there, but then you saw that 3-run, what we thought was going to be a home run, just get caught up in the wind and not even barely make it to the warning track. So they're still trying to figure out what to do with Steinbrenner. They're going to go to Yankee Stadium for a little bit and then come on home. And hopefully there's a huge sense of urgency, and maybe they got to play a little bit more small ball. I don't know. It's just weird.
So how do you see them faring against the Yankees, New York? My point was, I would almost rather the Rays get out of Steinbrenner and go to New York based on the struggles that they're having in Tampa right now. But I know Max Fried is going for the Yankees in game 1, and then
we know how that's going to go.
It should be favorable, Saturday and Sunday, but who knows with this offense. But I would imagine, big probably goose egg on Friday. But I'm just hoping for one at this point. That's all I want. I mean, just to get out of here with some sort of momentum, even that. So
yeah, I mean, one is probably my expectation.
yeah,
So we'll see if they can do better than that. I don't know how they're going to win the Max Fried game. They just
they're
need to pray
not.
that they
That's
can
what's
work.
going to happen.
Yeah,
They're not going.
they can work some at bats and try to get him out in 6 innings. That's the key.
Yeah. Yep. There we go.
It's just
All right. Yeah.
Bet any lefty against a Rays. It's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah. After what Noah Cameron did earlier this week and what others have done, it's not looking good when there's a lefty on the mound. And I don't know, maybe that'll change a little bit when Hostile Kim comes back in June or July, but at this point,
It's not around the corner. So
no, that's the sucky part of it all. All right, we do have some listener questions and comments to get to that I wanted to give Evan a shot to answer, but first. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices with no console required, believe it or not. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. So if you want the latest technology for elevated playing, if you want endless entertainment, and if you want affordable and portable gaming, well, go ahead and head over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller is required. It is available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, which is the second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, the first and second generation, and the Fire TV Cube, the third generation. All right, Evan, getting to some comments and or questions from the audience out there. You answered this a little bit in the first segment. This comes from 702 Living, but always with the 813. Maybe the Rays aren't built to play in Tampa, just only good for St. Pete. So basically what you said just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, look, I mean, if they can build a ballpark that fits the dimensions that they want it to fit in, that fits their team, I mean, you know, I am concerned considering they've already played they're 13, they're 9-13, so that 22 games. They've already played about 25% of their home games. So that's a problem. You're going to have to do a lot of work on the road. But at the same point, it is only 25 games like ever. So the sample size is just super duper duper small. So let's not be hyperbolic.
Fair enough. But fans are hyperbolic. That's what happens. This next question. Yeah. Jake Stokes says, why does it always seem the biggest and most crucial moments find Taylor Walls? And why does he always fail?
He's not a good hitter. We have a large sample size there.
Yeah.
Taylor Walls is not a great hitter. And it is crazy how often he has been put in positions to drive in runs. I don't know what you do to avoid that. You know, no matter which way they stack the lineup, it just seems like it always lands on him. So it is what it is. He's not a good hitter, and it's no surprise that a career like 200, sub 200 hitter doesn't perform in those spots because he's a sub to 200 career hitter. So 1 out of 5 chance he's getting hit.
Maybe keep Caballero on the bench when Walls gets a start, and then when that big moment comes in, pinch hit Caballero for him.
We can talk about that, but it's not like Caballero. I like Caballero. He provides a little bit more at the plate than Taylor Walls, but I've seen Caballero get into a cold stretch right now. So nothing's guaranteed there. It's just, there's no great option.
until Kim is
until
available.
Kim. Yeah, but I mean that.
option.
But as I said, I mean they're trying to tread water until Kim returns, but easier said than done.
Now, when he returns, you still foresee Walls being on the roster. Is that correct?
Probably. I mean, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. He'll probably be on the roster, but we got to, right now they're so injured, they got room to handle that all.
Yeah.
And then Caballero would be more of an outfielder in that situation while getting a spot start at third, maybe a spot start at second. But, yeah, I mean, until we get by the time we have everyone back, it's probably going to be like June. And then by then we have 2 months of a sample size to either say, hey, this person's not going to be on the roster next year. Like you can make those cuts at that point. So we can figure it out then.
This question is pitching related, comes from Rachel in Tampa. While Rasmussen, Littell, Boz, and Bradley have been good at points, I'm more concerned about Pepio as the ace now that Shane McClanahan is going to be on the IL for a while. If you were to choose in the starting rotation until McClanahan comes off the IL, who would you call up, take the spot for now until he returns? I would have kept Joe Boyle up until Sugar Shane returns.
So what we're asking here is that we would take Pepio out of the rotation and put someone else in?
I guess either that, or if I may put an amendment to this, is take the worst performing starter out of the rotation and insert Joe Boyle, or create a 6-man rotation. I guess just finding a way to get Joe Boyle in the rotation.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the first thing. We asked a million times the Rays about a 6-man rotation in spring training. They weren't going to do it, even when they were fully healthy. Now, we were about to see how they were going to handle this, but Shane got injured at the 11th hour. So it actually all worked out where they went to camp with 6, and then they opened the season with 5. If I had to select a pitcher to take out of the rotation, it would be Zach Littell. And I give Littell tons of credit because he has been, outside of a bumpy little start, he's been really, really good lately. And he's an effective innings eater. He's a lot, he's someone that when you look at a number 5 starter, he's exactly what you look for. And it's nothing against Littell. But here's the thing about Littell. His FIP is a 5.5. XFIP is a 4.5. So, take that as you will. His BABIP, he has, his ERA is what's his ERA? His ERA is a 5.03. Not great. And then you start saying, okay, is he unlucky? Is he, what's going on here, right? He got blown up for a couple starts. Like maybe he just got peppered. His BABIP is a 257. His career BABIP is a 296. So he's a 503 right now. And it's telling me he's going to get pummeled another 1 or 2 starts. Like that's a problem. And I'm not 100% sure as to why he can't get lefties out. He's always typically been strong against lefties, but lefties are smacking him around. I didn't check it after his last start, so just hold on with me as I pull this up for the stats. But against lefties, lefties are hitting 315 against him with a 947 OPS. And we're talking about 54 at-bats here versus the 75 versus right. So, I mean, the sample size – now, it used to be 360, so it went down a little bit. But he can't get lefties out effectively. Everything's screaming at me that he's still got regression coming, even though we just saw him get pummeled for a couple of starts to begin the season. So, to me, I would make him a righty specialist out of the bullpen, maybe go up against a lineup that is a little righty heavy. Like San Diego was a perfect matchup for him. And that, they had about 2 lefties. They were really injured. It was righty heavy. Those are the games where you throw Littell out there. Or if, someone's got a stretch of 3 righties, like, he started out as a reliever and you can move him back into an extended relief role. He can pinch hit as a starting pitcher if you need him. But, certainly he would be more valuable to other teams as a starter. But I mean, I think Joe Boyle is ready and deserving of a spot in the rotation, and that's the one I would take it from. So, and I know I'm just giving you my reasoning. I like Zach Littell a lot. The Rays have Boyle and Ian Seymour, who I think are ready, waiting. And so when I look at those two guys, more specifically, like definitely Boyle to start because he has Major League Baseball experience. You're kind of wondering how you play the Tinker game. That's how I would play the Tinker game. And the bullpen can honestly use another arm back there. And I think Littell could be a very effective piece. So, I don't know. He's probably more valuable as a leader in the locker room, as a starting pitcher to seek as a trade at the deadline. But just in this hypothetical, that's where I would land.
And joining us at the 15:42 mark is Ulises Sambrano. I will say he had a very yes, Jazz fans, everybody. He had a very valid excuse on why he joined the program late. He was negotiating and meeting with the one, the only Stu Sternberg, who we actually saw at the game Wednesday.
Yes,
in his dress shirt and dress pants, wheeling and dealing out there. I zoomed in on my phone and got a couple really poorly pixelated images.
I know he was there Tuesday as well.
And by the way, not to make any assumptions here, but it was very much like the shirt that Evan is wearing. If you don't know what Evan is wearing, you can go to YouTube and then hit that like button and then subscribe.
Very good. All right, another question. This comes from Michael Townley. How long before Ben Rortvedt gets sent down to Durham?
I mean, sorry, my apologies. I'm drinking the tea too. You heard me say this all in the offseason. You heard me say it last year. I mean, Rortvedt had like a crazy 2 months last season that kind of built him up. He's a backup catcher, and that's what's best. I mean, the problem is, who are you calling up to replace Rortvedt? So a lot of time, I mean, it doesn't, and this isn't to call out, this mailbag. This is just a general thing that fans typically like to do. Send this person down, right? Like Curtis Mead is struggling. Send him down. Who is the replacement? And right now, Logan Driscoll is not healthy. So he's a lefty and somebody who would have been eligible. And we saw him last year, not an option. Kenny Piper is kind of next. I think he's a righty though. So that doesn't really work out with how you want to do it. So he's probably going to stick around, and away we go. That catcher and shortstop continue to be just a deplorable hitting position for this team.
All right. Final question before we get to baseball trivia. Name that war. I had it here. Running and scoring position suggestions. What would you guys suggest for the Rays to do to improve with RISP opportunities? Taylor Wall's out when he's up to bat.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think these are just fans. I hear this a lot. I think these are fans who are living in 2024 and just how, they got PTSD. Because at least the last time I checked, and I'm going to double check myself, this team has been pretty darn good with runners in scoring position. And as I said, there's been some notable moments to start the year where they came up short when the game was down by a run. So it doesn't stand out as much as some of the other games when they win, right? When they won 5 straight on the West Coast road trip, nobody's complaining to me about how they're not bringing in runners in scoring position. So that, I mean, that's,
it could be recency bias of the series against the Royals.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But so average runners in scoring position, the Rays are 10th in Major League Baseball. They're hitting 261. They got 345 OBP, and they got a 734 OPS. So the OBP, that ranks 9th. The OPS, that ranks 11th. The slug, which is always a concern for this team, that ranks 15th. So they are pretty much an above average team with runners in scoring position. I don't think it's a fair critique right now. And guess what? Every team has games where they don't get to bring in the runner from the scoring position. All right. Currently the leader right now are the Dodgers. They're hitting 298 with runners in scoring position.
Jeez.
Next up is 283, 279, 274, 268. So, the top four, there's a 25-point difference there that I'm certain that it's going to get normalized for the Dodgers. That's just absurd.
They're a tank. That's why that's up there. But you know what? Let me be a little bit of a devil's advocate here for who sent this question in, Kevin?
This was Michael.
Michael, we're not dogging on you. I'm gonna be your lawyer for the next 12 seconds, Michael. Is it possible that if we take off those 2-3 big games that the Rays had, aka that 16-run game, maybe those numbers are a little bit smoke and mirrors?
What you want to go? You want to throw out the Red Sox game? Like that's going to make the biggest difference in the average?
I think there's super big, right? Like
but I don't get that because at the end of the year we're going to have like 7 games where the Rays just absolutely pummel their opponent, and then there's going to probably be 7 games where the Rays get absolutely annihilated, and then there's going to be games where the Rays shut out their opponent 7 times, and then they're going to get shut out 7 times. How are you in the middle? And eventually those law of averages are going to even out. So now there's a world where you can say, hey, this isn't a very good Rays team. They're not a good they're not a good hitting team. So I don't believe they're going to be an above average squad with runners in scoring position at the end of the year. Okay, I won't argue that. You're projecting what they're going to be. Mm-hmm. And we do that all the time here. But as far as complaining about them with runners in scoring position at this point, it's a non-issue for me. There's a lot of other things that are an issue, but to me, it's not a 2025 issue at this point right now. So I just think that you're holding on to a 2024 grudge, and you got to alter where the gun is pointing.
Little bit of a apple and oranges example, but it was kind of like several years ago with Randy Arozarena when he hit like 420 against the Orioles when the Orioles were one of, if not the worst team in baseball. And he had 8 home runs and, 14 games against the Orioles. It's like, is he and I know his numbers still show at the end of the year, but how much of it is damage against this garbage team that he's able to boost his stats that way? So I just wanted to point that out there. All right. Baseball trivia, name that war. I have baseball trivia and name that war for both you guys because I was not expecting Ulises to be on the program. I thought his meeting with Stu Sternberg would go long. Alas, it didn't. Maybe it didn't go as well as I thought it would, but
No, I got deets, peeps. Just behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
Fill us in after the program. Speaking of runs in scoring position and so forth, and the Rays just playing the Royals, I have the career leaderboard for Royals hitters with runs batted in. So in a Royals uniform, these are the top 10 run creators, if you will, in history. And there is quite a disparity between number 1 and number 10. I want 5 of these 10 names.
George Brett.
He is number 1 on this list with 1,596.
Billy Butler.
Billy Butler is number 8 on this list with 628.
Mike Sweeney.
Mike Sweeney is Billy Butler's number 8. Mike Sweeney is number 6 on the list with 837. Very good.
Mike Moustakas.
Strike 1. He's on the home run leaderboard, but not the RBI leaderboard.
Oh, Hosmer? Would Hosmer be up there, Ulises? You want to go Hosmer?
Don't think so. I would go with Salvador Perez.
Oh, that works, yeah.
Salvador Perez is number 4 on this list. Hall of Famer, perhaps, maybe. We'll have to find out if he gets 300 homers. 931 RBI.
So we got 4?
Yeah, you have 4. I need one more name.
Okay, well, what about...
Was Beltran around long enough?
He was like there for like, what, 4 or 5 years? And we got 1 strike. My other option would be Lorenzo Cain.
Ooh, he spent a lot of time there, but he was like a kind of a leadoff hitter.
Exactly. He's got more longevity than Beltran, but definitely not a raw producer.
I mean, really, like from those championship teams, like Hosmer wouldn't have done that kind of stuff.
I guess not. I don't know. Which one would you, out of Hosmer, Cain, or Beltran? What's your podium there?
I mean, we know that Beltran's really good. I just don't know if he had the length, right? Like, we know he's like a borderline Hall of Famer. Let's go Beltran.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Strike.
Fudge!
Son of a...
If I swear... I feel like I gotta go.
Wait. Are we missing like an old guy, like some... Robin Yount or
like Bo Jackson.
Paul.
I already said George. I mean, George Brett was the big one. They were so bad for so long.
Wait. I'm getting brain fog here. Is Robin Yount and Paul Molitor ex-Royals or no?
Well, Yount is Brewers and Molitor, I thought he was like twins. You know?
Okay.
I'm going Hosmer.
You're going
okay,
Hosmer?
Your guess, Eric Hosmer. He is number 9 on this list. The board is George Brett, number 1, Hal McRae, 2, Amos Ortiz, number 3,
wasn't going to get that guy.
number 4, Frank White, 5, Mike Sweeney, 6, Alex Gordon, 7. Did you say Alex Gordon? I don't think you did. Number 8, Billy Butler. Number 9, Eric Hosmer. And number 10, John Mayberry. Now,
good question. Gordon, we should have gotten Alex Gordon.
Yeah, Alex Gordon.
That's bad on us.
Now, this guy played for the Royals, essentially started his career with the Royals, his first 4 or 5 years with the Royals, and went elsewhere, Oakland Athletics, and maybe another team or two, White Sox perhaps. Jermaine Dye, what is his baseball reference career WAR?
World Series winner from 2005 with the White Sox.
That's a good one. He had a couple of injuries when he was with the Athletics.
He was solid, though.
He was. He had some really good years.
Isn't he more like a 280, 25 homer guy? Just like a guy you would.
He had some like home run surges in there. There were some impressive seasons for home runs. I'm gonna go. Man, am I selling him short? You know what? I'm gonna go a little higher than my gut is telling me. I'm gonna go 32-3.
Oh, damn! I was gonna say 33. Okay, I'll do something different.
You can't. You can play the Price is Right game.
No. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with 28. Let's say the injuries got him a little bit.
My gut was 29.
There we go. So we're right there. Okay, so 28 and 32.3.
So
what do you got?
So if I win, you actually win, and if you win, I actually win.
There you go.
But then the other person actually won, so we all win.
Exactly. Hey, nice. Locked on Rays, baby.
Interesting scenario you have there. Jermaine Dye, he did win a World Series in 2005. He was a World Series MVP. He has 1 Gold Glove to his name. He has 1 Silver Slugger to his name. He was a 2-time All-Star right fielder who batted right-handed from Oakland, California. He played a total of 14 years in the bigs from 1996 to 2009. Had a 274 career batting average, 1,779 hits, 325 dingers. He also was not much of a base stealer, but drove in more than 100 runs like 4 or 5 times in his career.
How many bags?
Stolen bases, not many, just 46 total.
Man, okay.
46 more than us.
That's true. That is very true. Chandler Simpson will have more this season than Jermaine had in his career. His career WAR is a surprising 20.3.
Whoa!
What? No way.
Man,
Recount.
Too much respect for Jermaine.
Wow. Yeah, with too much respect, you know?
While we're talking, I just want to see what Fangraphs has to say.
He must have.
His,
Wow. No defense?
He must have took a nosedive defensively or something. 14.6 on Fangraphs. So
it's the defense, yeah.
Among other things. So there you go.
Yeah, he had some really, holy smokes. Yeah, this guy should have been a career DH. And he won a Gold Glove, you said, right?
Yeah, I mean, that could have been his, second year in the league, and then, some injuries, puts on some weight, and he just doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, so, I mean, it pretty much was. I mean, he was outside of his, he had his first full season in the league. He was a good defensive player, and he was pretty much a net negative guy the rest of his career. Wow. Okay. So I didn't just. Okay. So.
All right.
We respect the offensive abilities, Jermaine.
We do. We really do. I think that just means
defense is for nerds. Don't worry about it, Jermaine.
I think that's just because we want offense so much. And watching this Rays team, we're like, Jermaine, yes, give me it.
300 plus home runs. Oh my God, 40.
Yeah. Let's go. You know who also gets 300 home runs nightly? Evan Closky. Yeah. Evan Closky. How do people, if they want to get a little bit of your work, how do they get that?
Follow me at eClosky WTSP for all my musings. Please send over questions there as well. Love to interact as long as you keep it cordial. I'll respond 99% of the time. Also, head to 10tampabay.com, 10 Tampa Bay Plus. We just started the Ultimate Florida Sports Show. It's a weekly sports show that we do with our friends over in Jacksonville, kind of breaking down the entire state. Some things from here, some things from there. We even touched on some stuff in Miami. So check that out. Again, 10 Tampa Bay Plus and 10tampabay.com.
Real quick, 5 seconds. Grade the Bucs NFL draft in 2025.
B+. I wanted another linebacker. Done.
Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah. On that note, thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to those podcasts.